Hello guys, it's your boy Ed Boon E3 once again. No, I haven't made some videos in quite some time, but that's what happens when life intervenes outside of YouTube. Anyways, today we got. I've seen some of the videos of interviews of Mortal Kombat X, and what I'm going to do is kind of narrate this interview on throughout this deal and tell you what I think of it on certain aspects of it. And it for me, I don't know. It's still kind of up in the air. So, but let's just go ahead and go on with the interview with Ed Boon and see what he has to say.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat X. I am joined by NetherRealm Studios creative director Ed Boon, a close friend of mine. I don't know what to say. I've been looking forward to this segment all week. We've got real-time gameplay for Mortal Kombat X on PS4. You guys knocked everybody's socks off last night at the PlayStation press conference. What's going on with this game? This looks like the craziest one yet.
Yeah, it's the last game, to our surprise, was the best-selling Mortal Kombat of all of them.
Wow.
So it just really builds the pressure for us to kind of top it. And we didn't want to do just kind of reskin the same game with next-gen graphics. So we're taking a really aggressive approach to adding new elements to the game, new gameplay elements, and new characters. Just a ton of new characters are really going to mix things up, as you've seen with some of these crazy over-the-top characters.
Now, who's this one here?
This character's named Devora. She's kind of like a half insect, half human being, and she's got these great stingers that she uses in combat. So much fun to play. Just all this.
Okay, let's stop right there. I'm all for adding new players to the game and all, and I have no problem with it. It's I just kind of curious as how they fit in the gameplay. What's their story? My main interest is what's their story. What's their deal when it comes to these kind of things. What kind of background do they have with Mortal Kombat and stuff. So, but when they throw new characters in and not in sync with the timeline, I don't know. But they say like I said, this timeline's far into the future. So, but I don't know, bug people. I don't know. So, let's go ahead and keep on watching.
Crazy over-the-top characters,
yeah.
mixing it up. Yeah, Devora right there. And Scorpion's over there. What's really cool about the game is we've added this new thing called character variations, which is basically every character in the game has 3 versions in the game, 3 versions of that character. Scorpion, you can see here, then Jitsu here, he fights with the swords in combat. That's exclusive to that version, whereas Hellfire Scorpion has like the fireballs he can set himself on.
Okay, the choose variation fight symbol. Okay, that's kind of similar to what they had back in Deadly Alliance and Deception and stuff. So they're on the right track here. I like the variations instead of just having one mode, or that's it. I like having where they might be able, something like this may be able to break out into combos. I don't know, and mix it in with even special moves. There's really no telling at this point. So. It could be a part of a fighting style and mixed in the combos. It'd be kind of cool if it did.
Fire, again, exclusive to that version. So as we have 3 different versions, the Inferno Scorpion summons this demon from all over the place. And it really adds, to all the layering of the games, the variables. So we're really excited about that. Devora is the same thing. I guess they get, just so these introduction of these 4 new characters is really exciting.
Awesome, tons of new characters. I mean, I saw some crazy name, Cassie Cage. Any relation?
Yes, Cassie Cage is Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade's daughter. So yeah, yeah.
Okay, I already saw this video, and I also saw the intro and stuff. And you know, I actually kind of suspected something like this would happen eventually. You know, like in Deadly Alliance when they showed Frost when she was a new playable character in the game, in the franchise. I first assumed that she was probably Sub-Zero's daughter. Because in Deadly Alliance, Sub-Zero, his main costume, they made him look kind of older, and Frost looks kind of younger. She looks like she's in her 20s, and Sub-Zero looks like he's in his 40s, so that was the kind of conclusion I came to. Cassie Cage, next generation of Mortal Kombat characters, sounds great, you know. And, coming up with ideas like this, it's kind of cool how they come up with it. You know, Cassie Cage and stuff, and creating a next generation of Mortal Kombat characters. I think it's wonderful. So he is kind of coming back to a form of common sense or common ground. So at least he's going that route. You know, he acknowledges the idea's existence anyway. So yeah, it. So yeah, at least he's on the right path.
Heard it here first. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so she's cool. She has a combination of Johnny Cage's moves and Sonya's moves, so it's a really a lot of fun to see her play.
That's awesome. Now, you guys have been so well known over the many, many years that Mortal Kombat's been out there, and I've been a huge fan since the very first one. Having this sort of soap opera storyline, where does this all fit into sort of the mythos and the timeline?
Well, it's actually, the story takes place over the span of you know, right after the MK9 ended, and then it goes as far as 25 years into the future.
Okay, 25 years into the future. Okay, so basically, let me try to fill in the gaps for you guys for my best guess. So I don't know if you could call this a spoiler alert or not, but let me try to fill in the gaps between the last MK of where we left off to this one. So here's my theory on what happened in between then and now. Raiden tried to rebuild Earthrealm because it was in total demise. So Shinnok and Quan Chi come into the fight and they try to overthrow Earthrealm and Outworld. I guess at the same time. I don't know. They might have split while Quan Chi's trying to take over Outworld and Shinnok's trying to take over Earthrealm, or vice versa. I don't know. But, okay, so it's kind of like a divide and conquer kind of deal. So if, you know, Shinnok tries to take on Raiden and Johnny Cage and Sonya, I don't know if this game is going to be influent with the storyline because you see Sub-Zero and Scorpion again. If it's going to be fluent with the story, then isn't Sub-Zero supposed to be dead and in the Netherrealm working for Quan Chi? I mean, both him and Shinnok, or Noob Saibot, both him and Noob Saibot. Yeah, so you got Noob Saibot, who is the original Sub-Zero. Noob Saibot's little brother, Sub-Zero. Then you got Scorpion, all working for Quan Chi. That's got to be awkward. So, yeah, so anyways, yeah. Okay, so we got Shinnok's army and minions, so probably Moloch and Drummond probably work for Shinnok, so they're trying to invade. That would be, Moloch would probably be your boss, or main boss, or sub-boss, I guess. So the only two heroes would be left is Sonya and Johnny Cage. The only two fighters that are left alive anyway, as far as I can, if they're going to be fluent with the story, which most of the time they're not. That's a big problem for me. If you're going to have a story and fluent with the next one, you gotta have it make sense. So the story of Sub-Zero, what they show you here on the, during the open cinematic trailer. When I first saw it, I was like, "Are we still going through this again? We're not past this, you know? I thought they put this behind us, and where Sub-Zero and Scorpion might actually chase down Quan Chi, and I don't know, So okay, so Shinnok falls. Rain ends up beating him. I guess Rain would be the main character next to Johnny Cage, I guess. So I guess Rain would be the main character. He ends up defeating Shinnok in the end, and Earthrealm is pretty much Earthrealm in this 25. We fast forward through about 25 years into the future. Earthrealm's pretty much screwed. Their whole entire government system, global government, just completely fell within a matter of hours. So no help was coming to rescues and nothing. So okay, so most likely Rain will be in here. He's got to be. Probably Shujinko would probably he might be in the fight. And if it's 25 years into the future, I'm also thinking Taven and Dagon. And what about the other elder gods and stuff? I mean, there was a kind of a sub-elder god, Taven and Dagon's father. Wasn't he an elder god as well? So yeah, I mean, so they gotta be in there eventually. I just keep feeling that they're skipping a lot of things here. I don't know. It's really, at this stage, it's too soon to tell. But when they threw these new characters, these insect people and that other stuff, it's just, you don't know what. The problem with Ed Boon is you really don't know which direction he's going to turn to next.
Wow. So you're gonna see some aged MK characters. You're gonna see some next generation stuff, and so it's really.
That's another problem. When he says aged characters, well, wouldn't Sub-Zero be pretty old by then? If it's 25 years, that would make him 45 years old, wouldn't he? Scorpion, he's a Ninja Spectre, so it really doesn't count. But yeah, so he looks pretty young in there to me. He looks like he's probably about 30 or 35.
We're really taking a dramatic approach with the story of the game.
Nice. Now, we got some gameplay going right now. Looking great on PS4. I mean, these backgrounds are incredibly dynamic. And one thing I think we'll be seeing it soon enough here, I think, is the backgrounds. There's a little bit of interactivity now that we saw last night at the PlayStation press conference.
Yeah, there's a number of places that you can actually leverage yourself. Watch Scorpion, he can actually run up the wall, and the characters can kind of use that to position themselves. A lot of what a fighting game is, where am I with relation to the other character, and so this really lets you get to where you are.
Oh, another problem I have here with this is they're still in this 2D fighting mode. I really don't much care for that.
Want to be a lot quicker. There's just kind of a lot more tools for the player to use. It really makes the fighting a lot more
you're on a platform, okay, nice. I can understand
and where
that.
Is this location now? What are we seeing here in the background?
This one's called the Cove, which
but
we
in every arena, come on, let's
see. It has a number of.
I like the 3D environment and stuff. I prefer them to interact with, like, walk around an arena.
The bridge there. Every once in a while, a body will be lifted up. You can grab that body and throw it at your opponent. So there's a lot of really cool surprises that are happening in this.
Great. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's a huge fan of the last Mortal Kombat that came out on PS3. From a gameplay perspective, I'm still seeing some familiar. Looks like there's the energy meters back.
Yeah.
How have you iterated that at all, or is it?
Yeah, we've refined it. That's one of the things.
Okay. The energy meter, that's pretty cool, and they also have the breaker, and that was first came into the game of Deception, I think, and it was Deception, and I mean, I was okay with it. I mean, it's something that you can get used to, and you begin to develop a bad habit for abusing the breaker quite a bit. So So yeah, that's back. So yeah, he's bringing good things back into the fray of things. It took him 2 years to get to it, but it's finally, phasing its way back into the genre.
That worked out really well with MK9 or 2011 Mortal Kombat is this meter. You can do so many things with it. You can enhance your special moves. You can do those breakers, break out of a combo, and then of course you can do the kind of crazy X-ray moves, which are kind of become kind of synonymous with Mortal Kombat. You see one right here.
Oh. Now, I say this in the nicest possible way. I'm having a very hard time looking at you because I have a monitor in front of me here.
Yeah.
And I'm like talking to the monitor.
Yeah,
it's hard to take your eyes off this game. That's been a hallmark of this series. You always just want to stare at it because it's so unique. It's so visually stimulating. But when it comes to the combat here, we're seeing I think a more fluid sort of approach.
Yeah. The action and the flow just really moves a lot. Some of it is like we're always making advancements with animation, but again, when you have all these places in the arena that you can kind of run up and move, just like an ebb and flow type of thing that happens more. So it's really, it makes for a lot more fun matches to watch and whatnot.
Now, and if my eyes don't deceive me, I think this may be native 1080p, 60 frames a second. Is that?
Pardon me?
Is this 1080p?
Oh yeah, full 1080p, 60 frames a second. Yeah,
awesome.
We're really excited about that. We always want to keep the game running at a high frame rate for responsiveness.
Of course, yeah. So obviously you guys are still early. Hold on.
She's gonna get it.
Oh, what do we got here? Oh, I see the gore technology has already come a long way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That looks something like it could have been like Draman's fatality right there, where he just throws a ball of flies. I knew that was one of his special moves in Deadly Alliance, but that would have been a cool fatality for Draman because he was constantly surrounded. I think they should have saved that fatality for Draman.
The ending's great too.
And the dollop of cream on top of an awesome fatality. Wow, this is something else. I don't even know where to begin. There's so much to talk about. What was your guiding principle, though, coming into this game? I mean, you said you didn't want to just kind of reskin the original Mortal Kombat, but there's definitely a lot of new characters, too. Are we still going to see some of these older characters that we know and love?
Yeah, we're certainly going to see, familiar characters. We're going to see, like Cassie is a descendant.
This is kind of like a Draman and Moloch
so
type deal here,
but
too.
Also a newness involved there. And then we also just want to add new elements, gameplay-wise with the character variations and the environment use, but then also just character-wise. We just really want people to say, who's the big Hulk with the little lady on his shoulders? We just really want to introduce as much new elements to not to just kind of rest back on the old game.
So that's a perfect segue. Who is this hulking figure with this rider on his shoulder?
The name of the character is called Ferrator. Farah is the little lady on the top. Tor is the big beast, and he actually uses her in a number of ways. He can throw her like a projectile. They work in tandem with each other, so he can make some really cool combos that involve each other. And she's kind of like the brains of it, so she's giving them commands. There's a some variations she's just running on the ground. Other ones she's on top of his shoulders. And there's another one where she stabs him and kind of makes him start bleeding, which enrages him, and then he does a lot more damage. It's a great kind of risk-reward type of thing.
That's awesome. So I don't want to spoil anything. I know you guys have just revealed this game. Obviously, there was a killer trailer for the game that came out just a week or two ago. Who's next?
I like the ice effects.
Then we just saw first gameplay last night, the PlayStation E3.
And I like how he does this sledgehammer thing. It gives a Sub-Zero where he's more creative with his freezing powers, and that's what I loved about it. Like I said, I tried to get this message in my earlier videos like 3 or 4 years ago, saying like have Sub-Zero like make an ice armor, an ice body, have all this body armor and this helmet made from ice. I mean, that would be so wicked and sick, Have like Sub-Zero's Quarry Blade. I miss that. I loved bring those weapons back in those type of signature weapons, and have Sub-Zero like have a circular disc like shield with the Mortal Kombat logo onto it. That would be so wicked and sick. It would be like Sub-Zero looking like a big knight made of ice, you know. That would be so badass, you know. I mean, there's so much potential, and Sub-Zero can form any type of weapon out of ice as far as he can imagine it. Think of it like the Green Lantern, only in the form of ice, you know.
Now, have you guys revealed, or is there any information you can provide as to who the big bad is here for Mortal Kombat X?
Who the big bad?
The big bad is.
We know
Shao Kahn, right?
We're not at the point to be able to reveal
Shao Kahn, right?
It's gonna be.
Now, this is the part where I have a problem with, you know. It's always Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn is to Mortal Kombat like Bowser is to Mario. I mean, you know, it's like, this isn't like, in every game, this isn't like the first time he's been dipped in lava and lived, okay? So, you know, and it's like, you know, this isn't the first time a player did a fatality on Shao Kahn and lived, okay? Or beaten Shao Kahn and he lived, okay? That's just, seriously, it's just like, what's the point of even killing this guy if he's just going to come back the next, you know, game or next sequel or two? You know, I mean, there's just no point. That's why it was a major disappointment for me back in Armageddon. They just came up with these pathetic, embarrassing excuses for how Shao Kahn survived the ambush in Deadly Alliance, and Goro the same way. It's just, ugh, you know, it was just so unbelievably piss poor, you know. So, but yeah, it's probably Shao Kahn. You know, I wouldn't put it past this guy. So, I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't know if you can call that a spoiler alert or not. I saw this just a few days ago, so so yeah, it's more than likely Shao Kahn, you know. So
A fun surprise returning character.
Okay.
Surprise,
But,
yeah. Okay.
Some people won't. Not a lot of people will see it coming, but there's a lot of.
Basically, my best guess, if it's not going to be Shao Kahn, it would probably, if anything, it should be Onaga. Okay, but if it's a surprise returning character, when he said that, when I first seen him say that, I automatically know it's going to be Shao Kahn. It's like betting on 00 every time and you win. Okay, it's just almost every time.
Surprises in store.
I see a twinkle in your eye as you say that.
Yeah.
So say no more.
Yeah.
We want to keep your secrets close to your chest here. But so, can you tell us about the background that we're seeing here? Is this?
Oh, this background's called Outworld Marketplace. You know, it's another good example of like the uses that you can have of it. Oh, I can see an X-ray here real quick.
Ooh.
You know, it's got this tarp on the right side there that you can, you know, if you can jump up and launch yourself out off of, you know, to get over to the other side there. There's this big tiger in the middle that you can jump off of, you know, to kind of position yourself a long jump.
This arena looks something like off of Star Wars.
And
I wonder if if he talked to George Lucas at any
old
point.
lady that we call Blanche that you can grab and throw at your opponent there, and she doesn't survive the throw. So, but yeah, this is one of our brand new environments here. You know, and again, there's a number of interactive things that you could do.
I've got to say, Sub-Zero looking very dynamic here in Mortal Kombat X, of summoning swords and hammers and throwing ice clones at people.
Yeah, he's cool. This version of him actually has, he actually freezes the guy's entrails here and then jams it.
Nasty. I mean, I know you guys sit around and, like, dream up different fatalities.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to say, like, were they all-nighter sessions on Mortal Kombat X? Because these are the most creative I've seen yet.
Yeah, we have these fun meetings that are if here's a good fatality. Fatality, you know, somebody says,
cool.
you know, I want to grab somebody's spine and break it, lift them up in the air and split them in half. So it's
nice little nod to Mortal Kombat 3 fatality.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how he did
Yeah.
Sub-Zero's arms, those ice arms again. I like the idea of keeping that because that looks so wicked.
Very nice.
So you know, we have these meetings and everybody comes up with ideas, and the ones that people say there's no way we can do it, those are the first ones we start working on. So
Okay, I think we're just about out of time. Ed Boon, so happy you could join us here. Mortal Kombat X looking phenomenal. Up next, we're going to check out the trailer. Stay tuned.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. My last thoughts on this game, it's, you know, it's opening up a new genre. And so it does give you a bleak of light at the end of the tunnel. So, but I don't know. So I'm just gonna, kind of play it on the average here, kind of wing it. But as you can see, it's probably like what, I don't know, 30, 35 characters around there somewhere. And there's probably a few secret characters along the way. But as for the boss, I guarantee it's gonna be Shao Kahn. I mean, like I said, Shao Kahn is to Mortal Kombat like Bowser is to Mario. So, I don't much care for seeing that boss. I mean, I think the story should move on. And, you see Cassie Cage is moving forward. So if they're going to move forward, they have to leave other things back, so that's just my feel of it. I think if, according to the story, if they're going to kill off characters, they should stay dead. They killed off most of the characters off the last game, so, so that's probably one of the reasons why they put new characters like Cassie Cage in this story, because they killed off a whole bunch of them off. They're... Sorry, folks, you're just going to have to live without them. Time to move on with these new characters. So, see what happens. But I think Ed Boon is finally, coming around and stuff. Now, I know I said in one of my latest videos that he's not going to do an MK game. Now, I said that only because, this next game that he's coming out with, or the one after that, it's not going to be like, that's it, I'm done. No, I'm saying that it's probably a few years down the line. Okay, so I think he is eventually, Mortal Kombat is winding down. It's not going to be like a flip of a switch, okay? So that's my argument there. So I think, this game may have its ups and downs. I could see it having ups and downs, so. But we're going to see what happens and stuff, so. I mean, but I still wish he brings that 3 environment where you can walk around your opponent, just like Deadly Alliance and Deception and Armageddon. You can actually walk around it. There were some parts of Armageddon I liked. The creative fighter and creative character, or creative fatality. Put them in the options menu, and you can actually build up your own characters up the ladder and make your own ladder up. Do that. But the story, environment, and option menus, that brings so much potential to your game, Ed. You could do that, and you could just live forever, and your imagination is boundless, so, and there's probably a whole bunch of people like me probably walking up to you or sending emails and stuff, and you're drowned with people's ideas and stuff, so. But there are good ones out there, and you just don't pitch them in the garbage. So that's all I wanted to say about it. So, okay, well, this is Ed Boon Sucks, and that's how it's done.